Some couples suffer a wide distance or gap in their friendship, which runs so deep, so much so that they end up struggling to rebuild the lost friendship on their own. In such cases, it is advisable. It is so much advisable talking to a professional counselor, a therapist, one who is really trained in that field, or a mentor couple, people or couples who have actually been married for years with so much experience. There is nothing wrong with making such a choice. Hello there, this is Felix. I welcome you to my channel, FJA Diaries, a relationship platform. Yeah, so it can be a difficult realization when you look at your marriage and see that though you may still be sharing a home, sharing responsibilities together as husband and wife, and even the love both of you have for each other, the love you share, in spite of all these, you are not really friends with your spouse. This can be very tough, very strong, tough feeling. Friendship in marriage is what actually makes the relationship very, very enjoyable. It is one aspect of the union that keeps the bond between both of you extremely strong, very strong beyond duties and obligations. And so, facing absence of friendship in your relationship doesn't actually mean the end has been entirely reached. The good news is that friendship can be rebuilt. And so the question is, how do you rebuild friendship in your relationship when you realize that it is long gone? It is actually missing. How do you fix this when you realize, you come to the point of noticing that the friendship both of you shared at the very beginning stage of your relationship is lost, is gone? How do you fix that? And so we are going to look at some very reliable ways that makes this possible. One way is acknowledge the distance without blame. Acknowledge the distance that has actually come to stay between the two of you without blame. The first step in doing this is honesty. Admit that you feel like you've drifted apart as friends. This is not about pointing accusing fingers or deciding to blame each other. It is rather about recognizing that something very essential, something very important, which is the friendship you both shared in times past, is actually missing. You may use gentle language like, I really miss how we used to laugh together. You may also say, the way we used to enjoy each other's company can be brought back. Shall we work on it? When you name the issue as it is between the two of you, it is the beginning of its healing. It actually encourages both of you to want to work hard to resolve it. Another way of getting the lost friendship back is revisit the foundation of your relationship. Go back into times past and then assess what actually was the foundation, what actually was the basis for which both of you became so connected with each other. So seize the moment for some reflections. Think back, reflect, think back to when you first met and started dating or courting. What actually drew you to each other? You ask those questions. What were the activities you engaged in or conversations you had that made both of you get so connected very deeply? Carefully reflecting on those moments can help to identify what your friendship was built on at the time. You know, when you go about it this way, it will actually inspire you to want to bring some of that energy back. I guess you should try this. It really works. The third way I want you to also consider as to what you can do to bring back the lost friendship is make time. Make time for each other beyond responsibilities. Most often, some couples gradually stop being friends unintentionally due to the precious marriage life comes with. You know, Usually to do with paying so much attention to work schedules, the kids, bills to be paid, and other daily routines. Now, this usually brings about a huge attention drift from the well-being of the relationship. Okay, the relationship both of you share, which is realized at a much later time when so much harm would have already been caused. However, it is never late to repair what is worn out. And so to reconnect intentionally, okay, both of you should intentionally spend time together. You can decide to go on dates, take evening walks, or share beverage drinking moments in the morning together without phones or other forms of distractions. When you start small, the truth is, being very consistent, you will gradually rebuild closeness. This solidly works. The fourth approach I am suggesting to you is cultivate shared interests. Again, cultivate shared interests. Again, basically, friends bond. Friends bond over common activities, certain things they regularly do together. And so, as a couple, find hobbies or simple activities you both enjoy doing together, which may be cooking, exercising, playing games, or learning something new. I mean, a skill. Learning that together. Trust me, shared experiences create fun. Okay? And they also deepen lasting connection. My fifth suggestion is learn to laugh together again. Both of you should learn to laugh together again. What you used to do, which you are currently no longer doing, learn to do that again. So the laughter you used to share, do that again. I mean, being intentionally playful, okay, with each other forms a core part of friendship. Okay, so to make this actually happen, you can decide to watch a comedy. You can also decide to share inside jokes or do something mildly silly together just to incite laughter. The truth is, laughter in itself, laughing together as a practice, helps dissolve tension and makes the relationship lighter and less stressful. Such moments give you both beautiful memories to celebrate as you age and journey along with each other. Another way of reviving your lost friendship is rebuild communication with curiosity. Rebuild communication with curiosity. In fact, friends normally will talk not just about problems, but about dreams. And they sometimes will also talk about their fears, and they may also share random thoughts with each other. Now, to strengthen this component of your relationship, ask open-ended questions that will make your spouse tell you what they have been thinking about in a long while. During such moments, it will be best for you to actively listen and not be in a hurry to want to interrupt or reply. Showing such curiosity about your spouse's inner world really helps you to rediscover each other, as people with particular needs and not just partners. The fact is, it will make your communication come to life. The seventh strategy I need you to take note of to help you revive the friendship you might have lost in your relationship is seek support if needed. Seek support if needed. Sometimes some couples suffer a wide distance or gap in their friendship, which runs so deep, so much so that they end up struggling to rebuild the lost friendship on their own. In such cases, it is advisable. It is so much advisable talking to a professional counselor, a therapist, one who is really trained in that field, or a mentor couple, people or couples who have actually been married for years with so much experience. There is nothing wrong with making such a choice. Doing this can extensively provide both of you the required tools or skills and possibly guidance, to reignite friendship in your marriage. You don't have to be ashamed about having to make this choice, especially when it is right. There is nothing bad about this. Now, for most couples, when they realize that they are no longer friends as they used to be in their marriage, they think immediately that they have reached the end of the marriage. That's not always the case. I must say, it's not the end. It's rather a wake up call. And so, by acknowledging this gap of lack of friendship, deciding or actually making intentional time for each other, cultivating shared joys, and rebuilding trust and communication. In this doing, couples, no matter how far apart they might have gone from each other, they can rediscover not just love, but the genuine friendship, that genuine friendship they had lost, that can be rediscovered again. I need you to remember this always, that a strong marriage is not just about being partners in duty, not exactly that. It goes beyond that. Okay? It's about being best friends in life and for life. My dear friend, stay strong. Don't lose focus. Do everything you can to make your marriage work. Yes, listen to people's advice, but pick from those pieces of advice the very ones you know can help make your marriage survive the test of time, and look not in the direction of divorce. Always let love lead.